in this video, I'm going to show you how we made around $110,000 for a fashion brand within less than 30 days. I'll show you the step-by-step process that we applied for this fashion brand in order to get this result. So without any further delay, let's just dive into the screen. So here in my screen, you can see that the brand did over like 323,000 euros in the month of March. Here's the 1st March to like 31st March, and the email bought around 110,000 euros, right? And that contributed up to 34% of the overall revenue. And from the flows, it was 56,000 euros, and from the campaigns it was 54,000 euros. So the background of this brand basically was, like they were a fashion based brand, and you can see like previously on the November they were just generating around like 18,000 euros. That was only 13% of the total revenue that was coming in through emails. You can see the flows revenue was really down, as well as the campaigns, right? So before like working with us, they only had like basic flows set up with checkout and new customer flow with only 2 emails, and those 2 emails were basically the Klaviyo default template emails, not even the design based emails that is basically customizable and made for your store, right? And they didn't have any pop-up form in their website for collecting the emails. Despite having a lot of thousands of sessions like into the website, they didn't had any pop-up form at all, and they were only generating like 18,000 euros per month, like from emails, which was like 13% of the revenue. And their current like email template, whatever their agency was making, it was really basic and off-branded, and they were also using like a lot of discounts on their emails. So like the list always waited for the discount in order to like purchase anything. So this was not a relation that you basically want to maintain with the list. And they really had like bad deliverability. Their deliverability was terrible. They were resulting mostly on like spam and promotion tab. So after working with us, you can see like the result itself. We started working with them from around December, but in the month of March, we bought them around like 110,000 euros, right? And till date for this brand, we have already made over like 300k euros for this brand. And you can see like we basically like set up, like 10 basic flows after we onboarded them, which included on like 45 emails, generating like 56,000 euros every month on autopilot. Automation, like we don't need to touch anything. Of course, like we do A/B testing and optimize it month on month, basically seeing the progress, but this flow is basically running on autopilot. And then we have basically 2 to 3 email campaigns being sent out per week, and these campaigns are like not just promotion or discount email, right? These include like content email and what the list like. So we have figured out some strategies that I will discuss later down in this video too, and those campaigns are those type, and we basically send out 2 to 3 email campaigns like every week. And these like campaign literally generate around like 54,000 euros for this brand. And overall like email is generating like 110,000 euros per month after working with us on the total like 34% total revenue. Engaged subscribers of like to 20,000. So whenever like we are sending out the emails, we have like engaged subscribers of 20,000, and of course like we increase the lifetime value, customer lifetime value, and the domain reputation, right? So now basically let's move to the next screen. So what was our game plan when we onboarded them? So basically on the first like 3 days, we basically did their whole Klaviyo audit, basically figuring out what point they were currently missing out, and then analyze their inbox that were underperforming. For them, the inbox that were especially underperforming was the Outlook as well as the Apple, and we stopped sending like any emails to them in the future, right? And then conducted market research and competitor analysis. So we saw like what their competitors were doing, what they were missing out, and how we could leverage our like email strategies based on that. And then like we basically built out the brand's customer profile, starting the onboarding form filled out by the owner, and then tailored our further copies according to that. So when you work with us, like when we onboard you, we provide you with an onboarding form where we ask you like all the details about your brand, whatever like and we basically analyze that onboarding form and basically like tailored our further copies towards it. And from the day 3rd to day 8, we basically like sent like the flows plan and structures to the owner for the review first, and then build out the copies and email design for the first set of flows. So first set of flows are basically like those welcome abandonment flows, and then the new customer flow, and then basically built out a high converting pop-up form basically to like convert the sessions to like the emails in their website. And then we segmented their existing subscribers and focused on optimizing their deliverability at the beginning, because if your email isn't landing at the inbox, then there is no use of sending any emails. Then what we did was we basically built out a campaign calendar and started sending out the campaigns. And from the day 8 to day 14, we basically set up all the first set of flows flows in their Klaviyo, and we also sent it for the review to owner, of course. And then basically we built out the second set of flows and also made them live on the Klaviyo. So these second set of flows are basically like the post purchase flow and other like unengaged, flows that we normally create for our clients. And then we made sure like all the A/B tests for the flows as well as for the campaigns were live. And after day 14, we basically focused on sending strategic email campaigns to the list, ongoing like optimization of the flows, whatever like tests we were doing, whatever results we were seeing, based on that we are optimizing the flows consistently every month after month. And then we always provide like a monthly KPI report to the owner, because they need to be updated about what were changes, what were like progress that we are basically making into their business. So this was really helpful for him. And we basically helped with the CROs of their product page to generate more sales. So they were having like kind of a problem with their product page also, because there was a lot of session coming into there, but the conversion was really less, right? So we also helped with the CRO side of their like product page of their website, and that was also like some like really great help towards the business, because we can like bring a lot of like clicks to the product page, and at the end, like if the product page like sucks, then you won't have that sale, because the main goal of the email is basically to drive that click to the product page. And if the product page is shit, like the marketing funnel or like the sales cycle basically crashes down, right? So we made sure like we fixed that too. So now let's talk about like setting up the email automation. So in more details about like how we set up the email flows. So first let's understand like what is email automation, right? So the email automations are basically like the automated email that gets sent out based on what customer does and doesn't does on the website. So it's basically like if somebody does a certain action, then they get the email according to that action. For example, if somebody abandons the cart, then they will get the item that they abandoned on their cart onto the email itself, right? So what we basically did on the automation part was we basically set up like 10 flows for this brand. So we made sure we made out all the email flows, basically like starting this customer journey. So let me just quickly explain you like this diagram. So whenever like a customer first visits a website completely like for the first time, then there is like high chance they will become your new subscribers if they sign up to the pop-up form, right? And they might browse around some products and then add to their cart and then they check out. And if they don't purchase on this part, then they are basically on a phase where we are basically trying to bring them to the first time customers, where we are basically trying to make them our first time customer. So this involves basically like all the trust building part, right? So here we have different type of flows set up, like welcome flow, like cart abandonment, checkout abandonment, site abandonment, and then the browse abandonment. And then after they become like an existing customer, then our main goal is to increase the average order value as well as the lifetime value of that customer. So what we do is like we have different type of post purchase flow that we basically send out, as well as like review request flow, cross sell flow, and then the VIP flow. And we have basically the retention phase, which is like similar to the conversion one. Here like there are subscribers like who get a lot of emails and they might not open for a long period of time. So here we have flows like replenishment flow, like re-engagement flow, win back flow, basically to retarget those subscribers and bring them back to the website and initiate the purchase. So for this brand, we basically set up like 10 flows, which was welcome flow, site abandonment, browse abandonment, cart abandonment, checkout abandonment, and the post purchase flow. And this flow was basically set up on the first 8 days when we onboarded them. And then was the win back flow, VIP flow, sunset unengaged, and back in stock flow. And we made sure like we kept like optimizing their flows like every 2 weeks based on the performance and the emails like inside those flow, right? So here you can see like the results of the top performing flow. Here's like the welcome like and everything over here. The site abandonment really worked well for this brand, because from the campaign side we are pushing a lot of clicks onto the website, so the site abandonment really performed well. And you can see like the flow conversion over here too. And yeah, like the main objective of this flow was basically to retarget the non-buyer sessions that came into your website. So how you can portray this is basically like 100 people coming into your website, you have 4% buyers and 96% non-buyers, right? So this flow main objective was to basically retarget those 96% like non-buyers. And they had like a lot of sessions coming from the paid ads, the SEO, like they were really doing great on the SEO part too. So a lot of like organic traffic was pumping into the website, and also like the session from the campaigns, right? So they were like like a lot of sessions into the website and a lot of them didn't purchase. So our flows was basically to retarget them and basically initiate the purchase according to the customer journey like they are in. Now let's talk about the email campaigns. So email campaigns are basically like one-time send to your like email list, right? So you might have heard about, like Black Friday emails, Christmas emails, like basically making those beautiful like design templates and basically sending out to your list. So this is like exactly what email campaign means. So in our agency, we like always create a campaign calendar like this. Of course, like this is not the exact campaign calendar that we did for this brand, but yeah, like this is just an example. So we have like always two sheets. One is basically showing the campaign overview and one is basically showing the details of like what actual all the campaigns is about, right? And for this like brand, we basically like focused on main like 4 different type of campaign strategies that I'll basically go in this video, right? So the event-based collection drop. So like when we started working from like the December, there were like a lot of events like Christmas, like New Year, and then the Valentine's, and they also like sell Muslim-based clothes. So we also like had like Ramadan events, and Eid events, right? So according to the event, we basically did like a new collection drop because they always had like new collection basically like loading every 2 weeks. So according to that, we just like portrayed the event with that collection and basically sent out the emails to their list. So now let me just discuss about the strategy of how we did this drop. So on the first email, what we basically did was it was a teaser email, right? So we basically built a hype and informed the subscribers about the new drop on the week. Basically example like on the Valentine's Day, we didn't like send out email exactly on the Valentine's Day, but we basically sent out the email like 2 weeks before the main day Valentine's, telling them that like something new is coming, a new collection, and basically trying to build that hype, right? And on the second email, we basically gave the early access. So we basically sent out an email highlighting the new collection to VIP subscribers only, and we made sure to mention that this email was only going out to them and not everyone. And we also mentioned a certain date that everyone will get this collection to basically add the FOMO. So for example, on the Valentine's Day event, after we sent out the teaser, then we waited for around like 1, 2 or like 3 days, and then we sent out an email to the VIP subscribers only, those who have purchased like more than 2 times, or those whose average order is more than like $100. We add them as a VIP, and we basically sent out like an email to them telling them here's the new collection, and this collection will basically go out to everybody on a specific date. So if you want like to grab the early like access like offer, just do it right now, right? And this email really worked well. And then is like the third email, basically we sent out another like email to the engaged subscribers, and here we make sure like we are excluding the VIPs. So this is basically like sent out to the general list about the new collection. So after like the VIP like email is sent out, we again wait for like 2-3 days and send this like email to the engaged subscribers. Then is the fourth email. So here what we do is we mention an offer with code expiry. So this email will basically highlight the collection with the offer, and it will exclude the buyer from the previous 3 emails. So if somebody has purchased from like teaser, like VIP or engaged subscribers, we won't send them an email. We'll basically send like an email to non-buyers who didn't purchase on all those 3 like emails. Then is the 5th email, basically the main event. So if this is like main day Valentine, then we highlight like more pieces, and for like those who purchase, we won't like send this email, but yeah, for non-buyers we'll again send this email, right? And then is the 6th email, and this is like a plain text based email, and this is only sent to the engaged non-buyers. So if somebody like opened the email and like clicked the email and didn't purchase, then only we send out like this 6th email. You can send to those subscribers like who only opened the email and didn't purchase too, but that's completely optional depending upon your deliverability of your store. But yeah, like we basically send out the 6th email to the non-buyers who basically opened and then clicked the email but didn't purchase, because it was like hyper targeted, and we basically send out a plain text email basically to land on the inbox, because there's high chance like if you use plain text you will land on the inbox. But yeah, it highly depends upon your deliverability. If you want, you can again add like a 7th email basically telling like we have increased your discount. For example, if you are giving like 10% discount, then you can tell like here is 15% discount, and basically send out another email. But yeah, that's completely optional. Now the second email is like sales based email strategy. So every month like we had one like sales event basically for this brand, right? And this is also somewhat similar to like event based like collection drop, but there's like some changes like you can do. So on the sales based email, like we only send out like to the VIP, and here we directly include the offer. On the event based collection, we don't like just give out the offer directly to the VIPs, but here we do that. So on the sales sales based like emails strategy, or the first email we basically send out to the VIP telling them like here's the early access to the offer with code expiry, and basically mentioning the scarcity, like the collections are limited, so purchase now. And on the second email we send to the engaged subscribers, basically pre-announcing the offer for them, and basically telling them here's the code, here's the expiry, and also like including the scarcity. And here also we are excluding the VIP subscribers. Then on the third email is the main day event sale. So here we basically tell them here's the final call for the sale, like the code will expire in 24 hours, and we again add the scarcity. And fourth email is again like last reminder email, and we again like send this to only non-engaged like subscribers, and this is totally like plain text based, right? And other email that we basically used out for this brand was promo emails, like payday sale, like seasonal sale, like winter spring collections, date night collections. And on the content based, we've mainly focused on sending out the content based email to the engaged non-buyers, because our main aim is to basically like educate them about the product, educate them about the brand, and then funnel them down to become like a buyer, right? Then what we did on the content based email was we basically highlighted like brand stories and sizing guide emails, FAQs, and update about the store as well as our physical location. This email basically like adds a lot of credibility for the store, because like when we are talking about the brand story, telling them about like different like questions, like common question that like the subscribers might have, or basically giving them like the updates about their real physical store, then they will know, yeah, this brand is legitimate, like we are selling like real products, and this will like really increase the trust. And later when you send out any sales or like promotional emails, then there is high chance they will purchase from you. And we have seen this working for a lot of brands personally, like for a lot of clients of mine, especially for like beauty brands, even like fashion brands, right? For this brand it really worked well. And the supplement brands, like educate first and then try to sell, this strategy will always work. And you can see like the campaign results. Like of course I've told you a lot of strategies above, but this is like the real result from those strategies. So you can see like the real results. So you can see here like 3,000 euros, like 4,000 euros, like 8,000 euros. And this 8,000 euros was like one email that basically was sent out to the VIP. So this type of like email really works well. And you can see like normally on an average, like to just average around for this brand, we did like per campaign or like 4,500 like euros if we average out all. But yeah, like this was really good on the month of March, you can see over here. And most of these like email were basically the event based strategy drop and promo as well as content, because here we didn't need any sales event, because it was most only like event based drop that we did for them. And like we almost like some emails, like the 4 months that we have worked for them, some even generated like 9,527 euros, right? So you can see the numbers out here. Yeah, this is how we generated over like 110,000 euros for this brand. And if you're a brand owner doing over $30,000 per month, then just go in the description of this video and book a call with me, because we can help you get similar results like this. We can at least like on minimum we can add like 20% for a business, all the way up to like 40 to 50%.